I know that romantic love brings expectations instantly and feels small, but sometimes when I am shown profound kindness, it gets a little confusing and difficult to stay in that neutral place because profound kindness is being accepted in the name of the person. You see, this profound kindness is actually a universal quality, you can say. You see, profound kindness, universal love, universal being. We are something very expansive in this, no? But then the person comes in and says, but what happens is when I'm shown profound kindness, I take it personally. And I want something out of that. And then it becomes difficult to retain my neutrality. It's almost as though something is making some kind of deal. Because
Yes.
the strength or the bite or the neediness to have a sense of personal fulfillment is trying to hijack the greater love and to use it for its own fulfillment, which it can never be fulfilled. You cannot give up the higher thing just to please the lower thing. Actually, move into the higher and feel the love that fills and encompasses everything. But be watchful rather than be too quick to feed and to try and satisfy the personal hunger. Watch out for him because he's a thief. And you're used to his ways. But it's like there's a little bit of attachment, a little bit of neediness that comes with it. It's like a little drug, a little addiction, a little itch that wants that scratch. And it knows at a deeper level, the wisdom in you knows that it doesn't really work out like that. Something is calling for a higher movement towards the greater love and a more all-encompassing sense of wholeness in yourself. But the small self, as it were, is trying to get to use it, to get the kind of satisfaction which it fantasizes will bring it the kind of satisfaction that it projects will be good for itself. So you need to watch and discern that that is a lesser deal. It's a con, really, and it will rob you of a great discovery that is happening in you and transform it into a momentary pleasure which will not last very long. To fall in love with someone and feel the romance of love is not a negative thing, but when it comes to a choice that is of a higher order, to move more into universal consciousness, to sacrifice that for a temporary state of this high-pleasured drive for personal satisfaction has failed us enough times for us to recognize, you know what, I'll leave that for the moment. Let me continue to fulfill my potential or to explore what is being presented to me right now. Let me just continue now. You say, how do I stay in that space of one universal love? Universal love is not going to keep holding your hand as a personal love. It wants to naturally absorb the personal because the personal seems to want to go off on its own. So it will absorb if the personal sense is offered or surrendered to the impersonal one. And I can understand that there can come a sense of fear arising in that because we have a taste for the personal. And in our high and excited madness, we are willing to give up the greatest thing for momentary satisfaction sometimes. Now, that doesn't mean that you're turning your back on the possibility of having a partner, but not now, not at this moment. God is calling you. Come, Lord. Come, darling. Come with me. And you're going, yeah, but can I bring this one because I'm highly attracted to this one? You see, so these are the kind of temptations that wisdom in you makes the higher choice. It's like that. So you say, how do I stay in that space of one universal love where wants and needs don't creep in? And if I gain that position, will I miss out on the possibility of a true love partner? So you've put that love partnership on a very high pedestal, you see, and it seems as though you are risking postponing or suspending or turning away from the greater opportunity of awakening to yourself, which may well bring forward within its hugeness and have place for a personal expression of love also, but not the other way around. You cannot ask for this just to satisfy the personal. Yes, you can ask, and it can happen that you may get the taste of that, but you must remember that in itself will not bring you the quality of fulfillment that your soul is yearning for right now. You see? And regardless, freedom is my highest attainment. You finish off with those words. You say highest attainment means that you have attained it already or you hope to attain it. Because as long as you have such a biting urge for something, I'm not dismissing that thing. I'm just saying, make use of it. Rather than try to satisfy it, make use of it by looking and finding out what is it that feels so desperate. Because when you want something that is phenomenal so badly, it really won't stay with you. Life has higher lessons to learn and greater things to offer, in a sense. So this is the game of the existence. It's about transcending. And as long as we keep giving into the desires and easily, we must make use of them. When they itch, you say, oh, I really want this. And for a while, we'll give in to them. And life gives room for that. We'll make many mistakes. We'll make lesser choices for a while until it hurts too much to keep making lesser choices. So I cannot tell you, do this. Not for me. I can say that you must be wise enough to make that choice freely for yourself. I can only point to it. I don't judge you on this one. I'm just offering to say beware of this, because what the lesser choice promises, what it cannot fulfill. The greater opportunity fulfills everything. You see? So regardless, you say, freedom is my highest attainment. You mean that you hope because only when you... Huh?
It means that's the only thing that matters.
But it must matter the most. When a thing matters the most, it comes out on top. When it is shared, we swing from branch to branch. This level of clarity, where one desires something so intensely, and for truth you must desire it intensely, and then it comes alive inside. Otherwise, the mind will still play subtle forms of avoidances and postponements and so on, you see. We know these things. I can only remind you of it. You see, the trick of the mind is to say, but, maybe I'll hold off on the enlightenment until I find a partner, because that's what I want on some level. And then maybe we can both get enlightened together, maybe. But what we find is that often the partner, if one comes like that, it seems much more opposed to your going towards this goal you seem to have. And gradually we weaken in our resolve because the passions take over from the discernment, you see. That can happen. I've seen it enough also.
Can I say
Yes.
that when I'm in that space of that, just that love, that isness space, I feel like I'm floating. And sometimes, as I say, I come out of that and go into that smaller space of, oh, is this love? Oh, this person's showing me such love, and I'm there because it's comfortable and it's so lovely. And then I don't like it anymore because it's like it's taking me away from that big space. That,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yes. When the big space is not an enjoyment, but a fact, you will not leave it. The sense of going and coming will come to an end. It's not going for a higher joy and leaving a lesser joy. It's coming home to yourself. And nothing can equate with that. And these are things, they may feel very painful in the life. We may feel so challenged. Why did God have to make it so hard? Actually, it made it very easy. Mind makes it hard. Lower choices, lower desires make it seem very difficult. How can something be hard, what you are and can never not be, but somehow just remain unaware of? What is the difficulty there, you see? Because while we have a strong taste of personhood, the person is always seeking pleasures to fulfill its own fantasies, and rarely, if ever, getting the quality of and the height of enjoyment it can have. But enjoyment is not necessarily happiness. Whereas happiness includes much joy. You see, these things are more strong in the mind than they are in actuality, you see. The mind somehow has been dreaming and developing acute desires and attachments for these states, and feels that it longs to taste the fulfillment of our projections, you see. But it just keeps postponing our opportunity. And sometimes I have to speak strongly and say that as long as we keep feeding the personal self, it's like investing in your next birth almost. I'm sorry, this might sound strong for many of you, but I respect you enough to hold you in a high standing from the quality of the letters and the sense of maturity that I sense from you collectively. And I don't mean just those appearing on the screen in front of me, all of you. And you know, it's not an ultimatum. Pure consciousness is not impatient. Thank you, Sutara. Please reflect, Sutara.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you.